Does beating yourself up for making a mistake really make you better in business? Hi, my name is Chuck Whitley. I'm an executive coach that specializes in spiritual direction. Have you ever done this? You made a mistake, you lost the company money, and your automatic response is to punish yourself, to beat yourself up. You have a dialogue running in your head that says you're worthless. This is all your fault. Your life is over. It's ruined. And for some reason, you feel like you have to be brutal with yourself. For many of us who do this is a strategy we learned back when we were children. If we made a mistake when we were children, we got punished for it. And now, as adults, we're reliving this strategy in real time, usually in the workplace. And I want to suggest it's not a helpful strategy. For many people, they will allow the mistake to go over and over and over again in their mind. And sometimes people will report losing about a week of productive work because they just can't focus on anything but the mistake. And they believe if they punish themselves, that's their way of moving on from the mistake. Well, let me suggest four things. The first thing we need to do is we need to own the mistake and show ourselves compassion. Now look, if you beat yourself up, all it really does is reinforce a negative narrative about yourself, which you're more likely to live into. And when we're living into this negative narrative that we're reinforcing in our head as we beat ourselves up, we're actually more likely to repeat that same mistake again. So we have to stop. And instead of beating ourselves up, what we do is we own it and we show ourselves compassion. And then we move on to step number two. We begin to reflect on the mistake. Why did I make the mistake? What could I have done different? And as we reflect on the mistake, we go on to number three. We put together a plan to do things different the next time that situation comes up. As we put together a plan, it's actually very freeing. It's actually very empowering. What happens if we don't have a plan and we're afraid that situation is going to come up again? It actually feeds into a sense of hopelessness and fear, which we're trying to dismantle with a plan. And then number four, we want to implement that plan when the same situation comes up again. And then just recognize a different result. Now, I want to mention a problem in all this. If we're the business owner, if we're the director, if we're the executive, and we are really hard on ourselves and we will literally beat ourselves up when we make a mistake, we are way more likely to beat up our staff when they make a mistake. The results of this usually are to discourage the staff. It brings down morale, and often it binds them up in this negative cycle that really undermines their success. And I want to suggest we ask three questions of our staff when we notice that they made a mistake and we have to address it. Number one, we want to ask them what happened. This helps them own it and begin to process it. Undoubtedly, they had a part to play. Undoubtedly, it's not all their fault. So we simply ask, what happened? Number two, we simply need to ask, what did you learn? This again is helping them process through it. And then we want to ask number three, what could you have done different? And this helps them put together a plan for doing things different next time. Now, I want us to try this, especially if we're business owners, we're executives, and we have staff underneath us, and we really care about a positive morale in the office. We don't want an office where people are beating themselves up or beating one another up for mistakes, because the reality of the situation is we're all going to make mistakes. It is a part of the growth process. It is how we become skillful at things. We reflect and we learn from our mistakes. And so give this a shot. Tell me how it works, and we'll continue the conversation next time.